Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Private Residence International webinar. We are so glad that you are here, that you made time on this Saturday morning, midday, not afternoon yet, to find out exactly what we're doing here, why it's so exciting, and how it can benefit you. My name is Laura Alexis. I am the CEO and co-founder of Private Residence International. I have here our luxury boots on the ground specialist and our chief real estate officer. You'll meet them in a second. But today we're going to talk about one of my passions and the reason why we created Private Residence International and why it is a game changer, not just for lifestyle, not just for luxury, but for real estate and investment diversification. You know, when COVID happened and my career ended, I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I mean, like a lot of people in the world, I think a lot of people were shook by COVID. A little blessing in disguise is I had a client come to me who was in the timeshare world. I was personally in the timeshare world for 12 years. I loved everything about it, but the contracts and the sales tactics. And one of the things that I really made it a point to do in my department was to do everything with honesty and integrity. And I worked myself to the bone in order to do it. Unfortunately, I couldn't change the rest of the industry. And so I had clients that would purchase through me and then go and purchase through others. And I had one client, a cute grandma, Annie Mae, come to me in COVID and say, you know, I just upgraded this contract $400,000 and there's no way I can afford it. I think I just want to give it up. And in my mind, I was like, that's insane. You can't just give it up. You're going to lose all the money that you invested. And you guys, I have 3 world records internationally for new sales in the timeshare industry. I know every single timeshare contract like the back of my hand. Test me on trivia. And so I told her there's got to be a way. And so I found a loophole. We saved her that $400,000, allowed her to keep her contract, enjoy her benefits. And my first 7-figure real estate negotiation business was born. After becoming a millionaire very quickly, I decided I wanted plastic surgery, and that experience opened up gaps in the healthcare industry. And so my second 7-figure business was born, Pop Recovery Systems. And no, I can never get enough of finding gaps, fixing them, and creating a people over profit business. And that is what we've done here at Private Residence International. So I'm going to share my screen. We have an amazing presentation for you. Make sure if you have any questions, put them in the question box. Don't be shy. There are no dumb questions, and even the tough ones, we can take it. What we're talking about today is not just a vacation home, okay? I'm here to introduce you something that's extremely unique in a way that it's owning paradise and building wealth at the same time. Now, you've probably seen it all: Airbnb investments, overloaded portfolios, timeshare traps. We know all about that over here. But what if you could actually hold deeded luxury ownership, okay, in real estate, earn income on it, but still enjoy it? That is what we are talking about here, and that is what we're building here at PRI. This isn't some over glorified sales presentation that you're going to see today. This is, and I want you to pay attention because it's a very smart financial decision disguised as a beautiful getaway. And it's one that's outperforming many traditional assets today. You know, it's really funny. This is already existent in Costa Rica, which Rodrigo will tell you a bit about. There are families who already buy houses together and own them together. There was just no vehicle that allowed you to do it in an organized fashion. And that is what we've done here. And this is our team. You're going to be meeting us all today. The first one you're going to meet is a blessing. He is the reason why we have these amazing partnerships that we have so early on. Rodrigo, our chief real estate officer, is going to talk about, how he chooses the developments that we have and why this is so exciting.
Well, thank you so much. It's a great opportunity to be here with you guys. First of all, I would like to just introduce myself. If you're going to be working with us, you need to know who I am. I'm a real estate professional. That's my background. Over the years, I worked in the city doing contract negotiations for other companies. And then after I moved into the coastal areas, I started doing that for customers in residential real estate. My main concerns are always to get the best savings and the best value for money for my clients. Laura can testify to that. Whenever I see a contract of any type of asset, I'm gonna be like, for that kind of money, you could actually get this or this. So that's one of my skills that we've put into practice. Um, to understand how we can maximize the value of the investment of our customers for this. So just to tell you a little bit about why are we focused in Costa Rica? Costa Rica is a natural tropical country with year-round great weather. We have two seasons, dry and rainy season. They both have their own advantages. Dry season, you get the most amazing sunsets, the most amazing afternoons you could ever experience. And in rainy season, or what we call green season, you have great mornings with super fresh weather, uh, very lush waterfalls, various water focused activities, and beautiful rains in the afternoon where you can sit back and relax the rest of your afternoon. So Costa Rica is a great place to have vacation real estate. I'm sure everybody's hearing about it because Costa Rica has kind of become that gem or that trendy place where people are traveling. But it's not only that. There's also a lot of opportunity for real estate growth. Real estate appreciation in Costa Rica just goes up and up because it's a very stable country. Not only the weather is amazing, the economy is thriving. It's one of the fastest growing economies in the world. And it's also a very peaceful country that doesn't have an army. It's, how can I say this? It's not tied to any political side of the world. So it's a place where people really treat it like their own personal retreat. Now, and with what Laura was saying, people investing into real estate with other people is not new. It happens all over the world. But in Costa Rica, we have the advantage that it hasn't been a consolidated business line where there is somebody helping other people buy real estate in a group with other people. So we have the opportunity to do it right. There hasn't been all this schemy timeshare companies lurking in Costa Rica. So we have the opportunity to do it right from the beginning. So let's continue. We'll tell you a little bit about why are we partnered with the Waldorf Astoria and Casa Camaleon. But let's continue, and then in the questions we'll tell you a little bit more about these properties.
So, looking into our expertise, combined, we have over $28 million in luxury property sales, over 200 families. I have personally helped recover $50 million from bad contracts. And we've partnered with legal, real estate, and hospitality teams in Costa Rica. So, this is not something where you're stepping into, we hope we figure this out. We know what we're doing. This is just the opportunity for you to decide if this is where you want to put the money that you have out there in the investment world working for you, and to decide if you want to transfer it to somewhere that it will work for you and you can enjoy at the same time. So, talking about how this works, here's what people get wrong. Okay. They buy lifestyle and luxury, and then they hope for a return. Okay. We built PRI to do both. So you select a property and then you own a deeded share. It can be 1/4 to 1/12. So you can own a minimum of 3 months to 1 month. When you get to the point where you're like, I want to own all year round, we have real estate partners that we work with, and we will send you a referral based on what you're looking for. We are not getting into full-time ownership. We are solely focused on our superpower, which is fractional ownership, fractional co-ownership with white glove concierge service. So you earn, let's say you use it, great. You're using it. It's amazing. That's why we chose properties that have, like Waldorf Astoria has a full hotel, so you can enjoy a beach club, beautiful beaches. Casa Camilian is in Las Catalinas. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you've never been, check it out. There's videos on YouTube. I mean, it's amazing. We're going back next month. We were just there a couple of months ago to do some content. We're going back to do more. It is beautiful. But if you don't want to use it, you are in areas that are in high demand. And I will tell you, when we're going back next month, okay, the average 2 to 3 bedroom was $500 to $700 a night, even on Airbnb for large spaces like what we were looking for. And so they are renting. And unlike timeshares, this is real ownership. So you can sell it, you can pass it on, and you can let it appreciate. And Costa Rica real estate is appreciating phenomenally. And when you look at the differences, timeshares are very restrictive. And so I want to explain this a little bit. I know everything there is to know about timeshare, and this is the reason why we made sure when Rodrigo and I were making the contracts that what we were doing was not that. It's very restrictive. You can't really, you can't sell them at all. You can't earn from them at all. And you basically rent a rotating calendar spot. With PRI, you actually own this fractional share of real estate, an appreciating asset, and there's no comparison at all to the benefits that you get. Now, Rodrigo is going to come back and tell us about the Costa Rica history and the properties that we've partnered with.
So to tell you a little bit about the Costa Rica market, ever since the 2000s, basically, it all started in the northern part of Costa Rica in Guanacaste when the Four Seasons opened their first big resort. Ever since, I would say, ever since that started, it created a snowball where other areas of the country have been over, I wouldn't say overdeveloping, but magnificently growing in terms of tourism and real estate ownership. You can go down from the north of the country all the way to the back of the coastline, and you'll see that real estate is the main economic activity that has been happening, and it's been showing great appreciation. We've seen ever since COVID, I would say between 10 to 16% of appreciation year over year. It has been coming back to a stability right now, but our expectation would be that with these new projects that are coming in, like the Waldorf Astoria, the Ritz-Carlton is also developing a new project. We're going to see those booming because they're coming even new and higher standards of development into the area. And that's what we partnered with the Waldorf Astoria and Casa Camaleon and other properties, because they're not standalone properties or self-managed properties. We count on actually providing the best possible service because we have their names backing up the service that we're going to be providing. So it's very exciting that people are going to be actually able to buy into these excellent properties at a fraction of the cost. They're not going to have to overpay because the market is very hot. The market is very, very hot in Costa Rica. And typically when people come in, they end up overpaying because the demand is so high and offer is so low for this type of projects. They end up overpaying. But when you do it in a fraction and when you have somebody that's going to manage the property for you and make sure you're getting the best possible return when you're not using it, I think it's key in this time of the real estate cycle in Costa Rica.
Absolutely agreed. I'm so excited. I mean, even St. Regis announced that they're going to be building in the same area. And what happens is when you have people traveling to these areas and the only option is to buy a $4-8 million home, they might not even look at it. But if you put it into fractions, it's something that they can enjoy while they're there. But if they ever get tired of it, it's something that the rest of the world is coming to enjoy and would absolutely, and otherwise would not have access to these beautiful luxury villas. And so when it comes to investing and when it comes to who's going to be the person who's going to help guide you, let you know about what's happening in the area, where to do things, and really be able to diversify your first investments with us and your portfolio with us. Because we know there are going to be some clients who only have one fraction, but we also know there's clients that want multiple fractions. So the one who's going to be there to guide you in the right direction is going to be Alana Moore.
Hi, everyone. I just want to start by saying I am so excited to be here with you today. So as Laura said, I am going to be your boots on the ground luxury investment specialist. This is something that I am extremely passionate about. But before we dive into the numbers and the opportunity that's in front of you, I want to share a little bit about who I am, because I am somebody that truly believes that being influential in the areas that really matter is what life's about. So I grew up in Vancouver, Canada. I am a Canadian. And from a young age, I was an athlete, a ballerina, which really gave me the chance to travel the world, doing what I loved, experiencing different cultures, which is really, really important to me. Recently, I was actually voted one of Canada's top 40 under 40 for emerging leaders in social impact. And I'm a two-time award-winning speaker. Last year, placing second in Canada's largest international speaking competition. But more than the titles, what really drives me is helping people step into the best versions of themselves and really designing a life that truly lights you up, right? I have this deep love for creativity and living a full and rich life because you only get one. So why not make it diverse and adventurous and unforgettable? So later on in life, I actually fell in love with Latin America. And, I speak Spanish fluently. So when I moved to Costa Rica, it felt like a dream come true. This place really keeps my inner child alive. And the nature, the people, the energy, there's just something here that really grounds you and lifts you up at the same time. And some of my most joyful core memories have happened here. So I'm really passionate about others being able to experience that. So real estate has actually been a really big part of that journey. My mom built a very successful career through real estate investing, and that's where my love for this industry truly began. I grew up watching the power of owning tangible assets that appreciate and creating that cash flow and really building a legacy. So when this opportunity came up to join forces with Laura and Rodri, who are absolutely incredible, I was so excited because it really gave me the chance to blend my background in real estate and investment with my passion for Latin America, because I truly believe that everyone should and deserves to have a little piece of Costa Rica in their life. So let's talk about what's happening in the market, because, the truth is most people's money is still tied up in the stock market. And right now, it's not looking pretty. So valuations we're seeing are bloated. Consumer debt is at an all-time high. AI stocks are trading like it's, .com 2.0. And major firms from JP Morgan to Morgan Stanley are all warning that a correction is likely within the next 6 to 9 months. So now I want you to imagine reallocating just even 5 to 10% of that into something tangible, right? So something that you can use or pass on and also earn from. So that's what our clients are doing. And what they're doing is they're making that decision before the markets snapped, right? So what I always say is like, you can wait for the bubble to burst or you can reposition now, right? So why now? Okay, so this is the cool thing. Our inventory is 70%, 70, sold out. So entry prices at some properties are as low as 60K. And rental rates, what we're seeing in the high seasons have actually jumped 15 to 20% in the past year. So our next round of properties, they're going to be priced higher because the market keeps moving. So what I don't want for you is to look back in 6 months from now and say, I wish I had gotten in, right? I want you to be the one that they wish they were.
I'm sorry. I was so caught up in everything you were saying.
Sorry.
No, it's good. I was like, man, that's right.
I love it here.
No, I mean, this is what you all are being able to see right now is the beginning of something that is going to completely blow up in this industry. It is all over Mexico. It's all over the United States. It's all over Europe. And in Costa Rica, I feel like maybe there's been some people to try to do it, but if you don't have the right heart behind it, Costa Rica, I believe, is such a protected country because the heart of the people is like so pure. The it's a blue zone. It's just a beautiful it's really hard to explain. And I've lived in Mexico, I've lived in the United States, I've gone to different countries. No country gives me the feeling that Costa Rica gives me. And so I feel like there's like extra protection over this place. And when you put the three of us together, who all in our different ways, especially Rodrigo, who's born and raised here, have a love and respect for the country and want to mix it with lifestyle and luxury, it's a really beautiful cocktail. And what you are able to do is you don't want to wait too long for this opportunity. You don't want to sit on this. You have money sitting in stocks, sitting in other real estate that isn't producing any income. Maybe it's appreciating, most likely not at these rates. The next thing that you want to do is you want to book a one-on-one strategy call with Rodrigo. And you always start with Rodrigo because Rodrigo is not like, he's not going to give you any fluff. He's going to be honest with you. He's going to tell you what your options are. He's going to go over what the contract is. We are very, very transparent about our contracts here. As a matter of fact, we have transactions sometimes that are done virtually. Everything is recorded, even if it's not. You always get a copy and you read over everything. This isn't a fast, 12 hours, make your decision. But it's also not a slow 1 year. By the time you come back in 1 year or decide, oh, I'm ready to go, it will be sold out. We will have more properties, but the prices will go up, as you can imagine. So scan this QR code, take advantage of that one-on-one strategy call with Rodrigo, and you deserve more than just a vacation. Okay. You deserve legacy. When I tell you that if you look into, you got your investments working over here, maybe you have real estate over there, but then there's this whole other budget of luxury vacations or even regular vacations. Goodness, I did a Disney vacation. It was 15 grand, that is actually costing you and you're having a great time. But if I'm being transparent with you, like I will always be, the money is being lit on fire. So if you can still have your vacations, but own fractional real estate that if you're not enjoying, someone else can enjoy. Let me tell you one thing I did not see on Airbnb. I didn't see a Casa Cameleon. I didn't see a Waldorf Astoria. These are going to be private transactions that are actually the properties themselves are in charge of renting these. So that is why we partnered the way that we did. We did everything strategically so that you can enjoy and earn, and we can take care of the rest. So we are going to open the floor for Q&As. I am going to stop sharing. Make sure you take a screenshot of that one-on-one, but don't worry. We are going to send you emails and texts and all the things. You're going to be hearing from us just in case. We don't want anyone to miss this opportunity, especially those of you who registered. We do have some questions coming in, so I'm going to stop share and pass these questions around. The first one looks like it's going to be for me. How is this different from a timeshare or a vacation club? Very good question. So a timeshare or a vacation club is the concept of vacationing. They do use the verbiage of own your vacation, but the difference is all about the contract. You have to read the contract. You have to read the fine print. There are no deeds. There is no real estate. It's a right to use membership that you have a right to use as a member, even if it's points. You won't find any of that here at Private Residence International. Our deeds are deeded real estate. Rodrigo has a whole team for that. We have one of the best legal teams in Costa Rica. We have escrow. We have all the things because that was the most important part to us as a whole, as a company. We did not want to be categorized, number one, as something that we're not. We are not a timeshare or vacation club. But number two, something that has been traditionally dishonest for the last 50 years, yet making billions of dollars off the backs of hardworking people. And so that is the difference, is the contract. And we love our contracts. We will wave our contracts in the air just like we don't care. So what kind of returns can I expect from a fractional share? This one's going to be for you, Rodrigo.
All right. When I hear what kind of return I can expect, I would start with, there are different type of returns, not just economic, and I want to lay it down. I would say the first return you're gonna expect from this is you're gonna be an owner, not a user. So you can expect the return of having always having a place in Costa Rica where you can land to just unwind from your busy schedule. You can also expect to have this as a legacy for your family. We all know that we are all going to pass away one day, and this is going to be able to pass on to your family members. This is not something that when you pass, the membership starts, and if you don't keep paying, nobody else can use it. This is actually in your ownership that you can pass on to your family. And then also the return on the investment side, with real estate, I'm always gonna lean towards real estate as the I would say is the best investment vehicle. You can own gold, or you can own stocks, and you can own commodities, but you cannot use them. They're a piece of paper or in a digital ledger that is there gaining value, but you cannot use your stocks. You cannot enjoy your stocks. You cannot enjoy your commodities. So that's also one of the main things on what you can expect as a return for your investment. You can enjoy and create memories with this investment. And then, of course, on the economical side, when you're not using it, you can rent it. And it depends how many nights you use per year, or how many nights you decide to rent out. For example, with if you decide to rent all your nights just because that year you know that you're not going to be able to travel to Costa Rica, you could be expecting from a 10 to 12% return after all expenses paid. So it's a great number if you use all of your nights to put it on the rental pool. It will depend how, if you decide to mix it, to use some nights and put it on the rental, that depends on that number. I can tell you a number without all the assumptions, but that's the range where you can be expecting. So it's a very minimal investment price to get in, and it's a very high rate of return if you decide to use all of your nights for the rental pool. I hope that answers at least part of the question. If you have more, just book a call and we can go over the numbers if you want. I'm a numbers guy, so I'd love to talk about that.
Yeah, and especially the exclusivity. I mean, for example, the Waldorf Astoria villas, they are 6,500 square feet right on the water. They have access to the hotel and the amenities, but you can't just rent those houses. You have to own those houses. And as a part of PRI, we have that exclusive partnership with them that you can co-own with other owners. Enjoy that. But if you're not there, then as an owner, you have a right to rent it. So it's really, really great. Why Costa Rica and why now, Alana?
Okay, so why Costa Rica and why now? Costa Rica is the number one destination for vacationing, but also for living. Real estate has gone up actually since COVID 400%, and it's going to continue to be going up. I mean, every single year. I would say, from my standpoint, because Rodrigo and Laura are numbers people. I am an experienced one life person. And when I talk about Costa Rica, we talked about that sort of feeling that you get here. And I think that right now, this is the best time to get in, but it's also a country where you are safe, you experience a new culture, and you can really create memories that are lasting. Like just the culture here, the people that you meet, as we call it, pura vida. Everybody that you meet when you come to Costa Rica, you say, hi, how are you? And they don't say good, they say pura vida. This is the place where people come to live long and to really let go and have a really relaxing time, and sort of time is not something like in the rat race that we live in. You know, I every single day that I'm here, I watch people that truly come here and they shift and they change. I talk about this family very quickly that I'll talk about. Why Costa Rica and why now? I watched a couple move here after having tons of health problems. Now, Costa Rica has one of the blue zones where people live to be, the most amount of people in one area live to be 100 years old. These couples came here and they were dealing with health issues. The one guy had been in finance his whole life, overwhelmed, stressed out, moved here, started spending 4 hours a day in the water, learned how to surf, you know, met the people, got invested in the culture, was eating beautiful, I call it food from the land, right? Whole foods. And his entire life changed. Neither one of them are sick anymore. And he actually left the finance world and just is one of the most, you know, laid back people I've ever met. So why Costa Rica and why now? Because you get one life. And if this is the place that everybody is talking about, then there's a reason for that, right? So that's, you know, that's my perspective. From a numbers point.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that what it opens up to is like, if you are like, well, I can't move there now, that's okay. You can own a piece now, watch that piece appreciate and grow, and then take that equity and put it into something that you can possibly own full time here or somewhere else. That is the beauty of the flexibility of fractional real estate. But the also good thing is that even if you're not someone that's going to move here full time, there are plenty of people who are moving here full time, but want to be in a place and stay there for a month or two before they make that big jump. This becomes another place for them to be able to do that in the highest luxury. This next question, I think, would be for Rodrigo. So, how are these properties managed?
All right. So we are mixing, as we've been telling, we are working actually with properties that are managed to the highest level of concierge and luxury, like the Waldorf Astoria and Casa Camaleon. Casa Camaleon is a hotel on a hill in Las Catalinas that are part of the Relais Chateau network. And once you come in, you're gonna be blown away by the hospitality and the service that they provide. Now, the properties are fully managed by these hotels. So that's where the game changer comes. These properties are not like when you own a house with your friends in Costa Rica and you have to be worrying about, oh, something happened with the plumbing, or there's something happening with the shower and we need to find somebody to fix it. These are properties that are managed by the hotels, that they are the ones who are keeping the properties up to the standard of the hotel. It's worryless ownership, where if you're gonna have guests or if you're gonna put it on the rental pool, you don't have to worry who's gonna host them, who's gonna provide them the services. You don't have to find a private chef. You don't have to find uh, meal options. You don't have to find trips to offer to your guests. The hotel is going to do all of those. Actually, you don't even have to worry about paying property taxes. You don't have to worry about maintenance fees. You're not going to have to worry about the management of the money coming in from the rental. Not that you don't have to pay them, but you only have to worry about one fee a year, and the hotel and our company is going to manage all of that. So it's a turnkey type of investment. You only have to worry about your yearly fee. If it's covered with the rental pool, you don't even have to worry about paying anything because it's going to be paying for itself. So it really is a hands-off type of management that we're going to be able to offer with these amazing properties, which is, again, why we are partnering with them and why they're partnering with us.
Love that. So this next question, I think there's two actually. I think I'm going to bundle them together. So, What's the minimum investment to get started? And can I use the property myself? I will take that. So the minimum to get started, we have properties starting at $60,000 a fraction. We have them all the way up to a little under $1 million a fraction. Obviously, that's going to be our highest luxury. We're talking huge villas over 6,000 square feet right on the ocean, luxury best. But even the 60,000, is actually ocean front. It's absolutely gorgeous and right close to everything. So that's why you want to have that one-on-one strategy call with Rodrigo. You can talk about your budget. You can talk about your expectations, how much money you'd like to earn, if that's what your focus is. If you just want to be like, hey, I want to make sure I can come X amount of time and then be able to rent X amount of time. Remember, the minimum is 1 month and you can own up to 3 months. So there's different ways that Rodrigo can strategize with you and create a plan that's going to fit your expectations. Because one thing we don't do here at PRI is make you a bunch of promises that we can't keep. We're going to listen to you and strategize with you and tell you transparently what we can and cannot do. As far as using the property yourself, absolutely. But it's not another thing. We're very transparent. Unless it's your time, it's not really something that you're going to be able to do last minute. It's something that needs to be planned. So about 6 to 12 months ahead of time, we are going to plan. Are you coming? Are you renting? We're not going to give you this false expectation of, yeah, you call us tomorrow, you can get there. If you've already said, hey, I want to rent this, there is a chance you're not going to be able to do that if we've rented it. Now, if it's not rented, okay, and it is your month, well, then yeah, you can come at the last minute. But again, high season access, dual benefits of the income, all of those things are things that we discuss as we get further down the call. So your first call is with the strategist, our specialist. That's going to be Rodrigo. He's going to come up with a plan like, hey, I think this would work really well for you. Then we're going to talk about, do we want rental? How are we going to use this? That's kind of where I come in and work with Rodrigo's numbers to make sure that realistically this is going to make sense. And then once you're getting closer to like, okay, I think I'm ready to do this, that's when you're going to go to Alana and she's going to start helping you understand what it looks like to practically step into your new ownership and even help you with things that go on in the area, activities, experiences. She already told you that's her thing. So that's what we let her do, what she absolutely loves. So I think that answers that. The other question was, is this available to non-US investors? I'm going to ask you that, Rodrigo.
Yeah. So this is, and how can I say it legally? What happens is an LLC is opened per property. So let's give an example. We'll call the first villa Waldorf Astoria Villa number 1 LLC. And it's going to have, depends on the quantity of owners, it's going to have 4 to 12 owners. And it can be anybody from the world. They can be Costa Rican, they can be from the US, they can be from Europe. The most important thing is that who gets put on the paper are the owners of that property. So you're not a member that gets a right to use, you get to be an owner of that property. So anybody in the world can join, and anybody in the world can have their name written as an owner of that property itself. I don't know how to expand on this question, but I would say it's a very legally protected type of investment vehicle where you're not going to be passed around into a membership type of thing. It is really like being an owner of the property with the other owners of itself.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, for sure. You answered that perfect. There was a question about real estate market shifts. I'm going to address really quick. What happens if the real estate market shifts? This is a really good question because the one thing about fractional co-ownership is it doesn't really go on the same ebb and flows of the traditional real estate market. What we do in fractional co-ownership is that we just wait till it shifts back before we sell anything. We enjoy it. We really rent it. Even in those times when the real estate is shifting, people aren't buying or selling, people are still vacationing. That's why it's an amazing vehicle, because in those times where things are down, you just don't sell. You don't do anything but enjoy or rent it out. And then when it picks back up, as it always does, then we look at, okay, do we want to sell? Now, when it comes to selling, I think we're going to, on our next webinar in August, kind of talk about the different things of that in detail. But we are going to have very strategic ways that we can benefit when you're ready to sell, that your friends and family can benefit when you're ready to sell, or if it's going to go out to the market and it's going to sell, we're going to actually help you do that, because this isn't something that you can just say, come get my fractional ownership. You need to have it sold by professionals. And that is something else that PRI will handle for you. And this last question, perfect last question. What's the first step if I'm interested in moving forward, Alana?
Yeah, I'll take this one. So we've spoken about this a few times. The first step to moving forward is you're actually going to book. I hope you took a picture of the QR code. It'll be, maybe we can bring it up again.
Yeah, sure.
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to book your one-on-one strategy call or strategy session, let's call it, with Rodrigo. Rodrigo is going to be incredible also because he is a tico. He grew up in Costa Rica. He knows the numbers. He's going to be able to start and go over everything with you. Here's the QR code. So you can take a picture of the QR code. You can get in there. You can book your one-on-one session with him and get everything that you need to start moving forward and making this dream come true.
We are so glad that you joined us today. This is the beginning of something really beautiful, but actually we've been working on this for a little over half a year, slowly putting everything together so that when it was time for people to start coming on board, we knew exactly which direction to take with as little mistakes as possible. We hope that you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Stay tuned in your emails. You're going to see more information, a recording of this webinar, and also another invitation for our future webinars as we continue to educate the world on the gift of fractional ownership here in Costa Rica with Private Residence International. Thanks for being here.